Hear from the candidates, and this way when it comes time to vote, you'll be able to decide who is the right candidate for you. So just a couple of things to let you know about ABC. ABC is the All Berwyn Committee. We've been in existence since 1946. We're a nonpartisan, not-for-profit organization, and we've done many things here in Berwyn back before I was a member. One of the big things that they did was they decided to fight selling the property over on 26 in Harlem. They wanted to sell that for developers, and instead ABC went along with other organizations, fought to keep that, and then decided that's where the high school was going to go. So it's one of the big things that we did during the time. We also helped with Morton College on Central and 39th Street. So there have been some topics that we've been involved in besides the elections, where we've taken an interest, active interest, and inform the public, and that's what we're about, informing the public. So we hold these type of meetings once a month usually, so that we can inform you about things that are coming up in Berwyn. Unfortunately, trying to get the word out sometimes is not as easy as it used to be, and today, this time, this is great because everybody's on Facebook and Twitter and every other means of communications, letting the word out, and people got here, and again, I'm glad to see that. So if you're interested in becoming a member of ABC, I do have some applications on the table. You can fill it out. You can turn it in today, or you could mail it to our treasurer. The address is on the application form, and this way you'll be part of this organization. Again, it's a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization. We don't take sides, we just present the facts. Now, to begin our meeting, first of all, we usually have a regular order of business, but today, because we have so many candidates speaking, I'd like to have a motion from the floor to waive the regular order of business. Do I hear a motion? Second? Second. All in favor? Those opposed? Okay, so we were skipping all the other things, and we're going to go right to our program, which is meeting the candidates and having the candidates speak. We will start with the top of the ticket for the city. So we will have the first two candidates that will be up here will be Mayor Mayoral, and also his Alderman Teddy Polashek will be up here first. So would you please step forward, please?
And the time limit.
Time limit, I'm going to give him that. Okay, just before we begin, just a couple of rules regarding what we're going to do here. All the candidates will be introduced that are here, but again, only the candidates that have an opponent in the primary will be allowed to speak, again, to save us some time. As far as what we want the candidates to be respectful of each other, and again, present their credentials. What qualifies you for the position? Why are you seeking this position? And what are you going to do if elected or re-elected to the position? So those are the things that we want to hear, not knocking each other or any other thing like that. So please, let's keep it civil. Also, for the audience, we will be allowing questions and answers, and we're going to take questions two ways. One from the floor, so if you want to ask a question, I will be recognizing you, and you stand up, tell us what ward you live in, and then ask your question. If you want to write it down, we will be passing out some cards so you can write it down, and then we'll try to read as many of those as possible. But we will take questions from the floor first. Again, when you ask a question, because again, the time limit, try to keep it to one candidate that you're directing your question to. And we don't want to debate, we just want you to ask the question and let the candidate you're asking the question of to respond. Any questions on that? All right? Okay, our two candidates are here. Any choice which way is going to go first? I'm going to flip a coin and we'll call it. We'll do it, flip of the coin.
Doesn't matter.
Call heads. Who's going to call?
Call.
It is heads. Mayor Rivera,
Okay.
go first.
So welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's a little chilly, but it's really a nice crowd. Glad you all came out to hear what we all have to say. I'm going to give you just a slight background on myself. I think most people in the room know me. Obviously, I have lived here since approximately 1960. We moved into town, and I started first grade here in town. I went to St. Mary's South Grade School, Fenwick High School, Loyola undergrad, and then I got my law degree from Northern Illinois. which was at Glen Ellen at the time. So I've been pretty much a lifelong Berwyn resident. And I've been involved in the city government since the early 80s. When I first got my law degree in 81, I came to work at the city here to write ordinances on a part-time basis. From there, I went to the city prosecutor for 17 years, alderman for 9 years, and now mayor going on my 8th year. So I believe at one point I was really interested in running because I felt that Berwyn was headed in the wrong direction. I felt that we needed to correct the stem of what was happening with our finances, as well as our businesses, as well as our homes. And I think in 8 years, I've proved that we've been able to do that. Underneath my leadership, and it's not me alone, folks, trust me when I say that, we have good team members. I brought in a professional staff. We have some good team members that work together for the best of Berwyn. Nobody here who's running on either ticket is running for anything other than trying to do the best for their community. And that's why I'm still here, and that's why I want to run again. In 2009, when I ran, we had almost a $500,000 cash deficit. Today, we have a little in excess of $10 million cash reserves. That was done through prudent financing, restructuring, floating some bonds, and obviously correcting some expenses that didn't need to be spent. So we did it. That was why we were able to raise our credit rating from an A- with a negative outlook to an A stable outlook. And the reason Standard & Poor's rated us and raised our rating is because of the financial course that we took over the last 8 years. When it comes to commercial development, I don't think I really need to say much. All you need to do is drive around town. And what that commercial development has done is it's been able to keep, over the last few years, keep our property taxes without growing that high, so that because of sales tax, we've increased by at least $1.2 million per year. So we've done the job for the last 8 years. I'm asking you to please vote for me to keep me going for the next 4 years. I'm not going to be here forever, guys. I don't have any intention of staying in this position forever, but I think that we still have a lot more work to do. We still have blighted areas. We still have some vacant storefronts. Nothing like it was in 2009, but we still have some that we have to work on. We still have to make sure that the city is financially sound. We have to make sure that that program we started to keep us structured in our finances continues. One of the biggest things that we're looking forward to is doing some more infrastructure work in our town. Obviously, the Depot District is going to be undergoing a massive infrastructure reconstruction so that we can hopefully oversize our sewers, our water lines, so that it alleviates some of the flooding we've had in our community, especially on that south end, and make it pedestrian friendly, just like we did on Roosevelt Road. So we plan on doing that. We've written for grants. We've got plenty of grant money. We have money coming in from the state, MWRD, numerous other sources, and we are preparing our monies to match that so that we can get this project off the ground, hopefully sometime by the middle of next year. All I can say to you is I've proven myself, I believe, over the last 8 years. Regardless of what you see, Ms. Gutierrez, I just hate to tell you, but I am the first Latino in the top 3 offices. I am an Italian, and I am Mexican. So the fact is I'm a Berwynite first and foremost, and I'll continue to be a Berwynite at all times. Thank you.
Welcome, good evening, guys. I'd like to, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and thank the ABC for putting this forum together.
Could you move up to the microphone, please? It's right in the center there. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. So once again, good evening. I'm Ted Palacio, and I'm running for mayor. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself if you don't know who I am, and my plans for Berwyn and Berwyn United. I was born, raised, and educated in the city of Berwyn. I went to Havlicek, I went to Lincoln, Morton College, and I'm a local fireman. My family immigrated here from Czech Republic, from Czech Bohemia at the time, before World War I, fleeing dictatorship. My father died when I was a young kid. I was left to take care of my mom and 2 sisters, one who's disabled and blind. This instilled in me a commitment and responsibility to care for those in need. Helping people and leading in the community are values I cherish. I learned this from my mom and dad at a very young age. This laid the foundation for me to become a fireman and eventually run for office. I made Berwyn my home for my life. I have a smart, beautiful, talented wife, Misha, and a one heck of a little tornado called Little Teddy, named Teddy. Berwyn is a great place to raise your kids. We have folks from all walks of life here who come together in this great community. Berwyn is a small city with a big heart. You know who lives on your block, and when your neighbors need help, you come to rush. And as you can tell, I believe in Berwyn, I love Berwyn, and I love this community. Unfortunately, we're in a situation that we are in right now. The residents need higher standards, and people of Berwyn deserve better. I feel that the residents have been underserved. The residents of Berwyn have been underserved. We've raised the taxes 5 times and haven't balanced the budget. In fact, we have $170 million in bonded money, credit debt. Meanwhile, there's a shortfall over $90 million in unfunded pensions. This, in my opinion, is not responsible government. We hand out contracts to friends and family for city services. We take campaign contributions from one person, and then we hire the next day as a contractor or a city vendor. We run an inefficient play-to-play operation that ensures that we pay more for service and get less for what we need. We can do better. I'm running for mayor to ensure that our public funds go to our community needs. I'm running to make sure that our books are balanced, our pensions are secured, and our services are great. I'm committed to passing strong ethics reform, stop pay-to-play politics, which costs taxpayers millions of dollars and weaken city services. I will make public health and safety one of my top priorities, addressing issues as far as water and safety and infrastructure. I will ensure that the residents of Berwyn get the best services that we could bid for, and the best services for those that will bid for it and do the work. And after a day's work, I will make sure our government is more accessible to all residents, proactive in addressing community issues, and responsive to all changes, everyone's needs and changes. I'm so grateful to see so many familiar faces and new faces here. I'm excited to make history and Berwyn together, and I hope I could count on your vote for February 28th. Thank you for your time, and good evening.
And just inform the mayor that what we're going to do is call up the top 3 offices, and then after those candidates have spoken, then we'll have the questions and answers for that group. So if you did not receive a card and you want to write down a question, we have somebody passing out cards. Otherwise, you'll be able to stand up and ask the question directly. And again, there is a time limit, candidates, and because we have people standing out in the hallways, in both hallways, please come to the mic and speak by the mic so they can hear you out there.
We're still at 5 minutes.
No, now we're dropping down to 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
3 minutes. All right, so next to speak would be our candidates for city clerk, Thomas Pavlik and Marge Paul. Unfortunately, Clerk Pavlik had another previous engagement. He's attending a seminar. So he did have a statement sent, And our secretary is going to read the statement.
J. Pavlik, candidate for Berwyn City Clerk. Let me begin by apologizing, and a scheduling conflict has left me unable to attend tonight's ABC Candidates Forum. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the ABC Committee for allowing my brief statement to be read. It has been my honor to serve as Berwyn City Township Clerk, as well as Secretary of Berwyn Public Health District since 2005. I have worked to make the office of the clerk a modern and high professional one. I have spearheaded important updates, which include completing the electronic scanning of microfilm archives of all city council minutes from 1918 to 1966 into a searchable database. Since 2006, I have made the complete city council agendas, city budgets, and audio savable online at the city website. As Berwyn's Freedom of Information Officer for the City, Township, and Health District, I have streamlined responses times and accurately answered and maintained over 8,000 requests. Continuing education has been a high priority for me. I became a registered municipal clerk in 2009, a certified municipal clerk in 2010. In 2015, I achieved the level of Master Municipal Clerk through Eastern Illinois University Municipal Clerk of Illinois Academy and the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. I have served the municipal clerks of Illinois as a District 1 Director from 2010 to 2015, as well as being a member of the Legislative Committee Membership Committee from 2005 till current, and on the Mentoring Committee from 2004 until current. Thus, giving back to my new and younger colleagues, I also bring knowledge back to my local clerks association, the South and West Clerk Association of Suburban Cook County, where I have served as Secretary, Vice President, and current as President for the third time. I am of Slovak descent and a Berwyn resident for 36 years. My wife, Susan, and I have raised two children. Ali is 28, and John is 26. Both products from Honduras, both successful in their chosen professions. Before I elected into the office of City Clerk, I enjoyed an 18-year profession in sales at All-American Paper Company. I gratefully gave up that career to dedicate myself full-time to the city of Berwyn. I have volunteered in the community as a baseball and basketball coach at the Berwyn Recreational Center, a swim coach for the PAB YMCA, and the United States Swim Association. As an age group coach, I am an American Legion SAL member of Commodore Barry Post and volunteer for the Berwyn Development Corporation Special Events Committee as well as Hobby Day. Dedicated and highly qualified, I ask for your vote to continue to serve the Berwyn community and carry on my efforts to modernize and heighten the efficiency of the office of the City Clerk.
Hello everyone, I'm Margaret Paul. I am also seeking the office of Berwyn City Clerk, and I'm asking for your vote on February 28th. Bobby, I don't think we had this many people here in the chamber since you got sworn in. It's very good to see everybody here, and we meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. I hope to see you here at the next council meeting. I moved to Berwyn in 1980. I moved here with my partner Mary Lou, and we lived on the north side on 13th and Wesley. Eventually we bought a home on 32nd and Home Avenue, and we lived there for a very long time. Unfortunately, she's unable to be with me tonight. I ran for Berwyn Alderman for the 3rd Ward in 2009, and I was very proud to have been elected. I ran again in 2013, was re-elected, and I've served with as much preparation and follow through as I possibly could. I've been very honored to be the Alderman of the 3rd Ward. I'm seeking the office of City Clerk because I believe that it's an important role in this city. I'm a licensed attorney. I have taken classes over the length of my career as Alderman, and prior to that, just like the mayor, I have to take continuing legal education classes. And among those classes, I've taken zoning classes, I've taken taxation, I've taken all kinds of classes that I could possibly take to enhance my ability to be prepared as alderman. One of the problems that I have with Tom Pavlik, and I have to say that I worked very hard to help elect him in 2005, but one of the problems that I have with Tom Pavlik is that he has taken advantage of his ability, thank you, he's taken advantage of his ability as master municipal clerk. He has wonderful credentials. He has used city money as stipends to pay for those credentials. A year ago, he put a backdoor raise on city council. He asked us to pay him $2,000 because he had attained the rank of master municipal clerk. I'll continue my education. I'll continue to have the credentials necessary to do the job with integrity and to do the job that you'll be proud of. But I will use that time to become a master municipal clerk and not charge the community. There's a lot to say about the role of municipal clerk. I hope to have that discussion in a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Next, we have two candidates for city treasurer. Please step forward. You speak first. Rotating. Rotating around. 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. And thank you, ABC, for putting this forum together. I will serve as your liaison in educating and reporting to you, the taxpayer, in regards to the city's finances. Let me start with telling you a little bit about myself. I am married, have 3 children, ages 14, 10, and 9. I served as a music minister at St. Mary of South for 9 years, and I am part of the board of directors for Our Lady of Tepeyac. My experience serves me well to balance the budget and put Berwyn back on track. I graduated from DePaul University. I have 16 years in finance, and I started at a small community bank, now working for a larger corporate bank. My strengths are attention to detail, ability to listen effectively, and some of my customers range from consumers to small business to larger corporations. And I am excited to bring all of this experience to Berwyn. Why am I running? I see what is happening at the national level, and the local decisions will impact my family, my friends, and my community. It is time to speak up and stand up. Both my husband and I firsthand feel the impact of finances. According to the Cook County Treasurers, Berwyn's tax rate is double the amount compared to Oak Park and Riverside. We hear about the great revenue that the city is receiving, and according to our tax bill, we owe $194 million. And according to our tax bill, the taxes keep getting higher. The root cause is our spending. I have a plan that we will work on cutting wasteful spending and getting the balance back on budget. I will look for all options before coming to the taxpayer. I support having an inspector general that will audit expenses, resources, and equipment. We will assure that we are working as effectively and efficiently as possible. My commitment is to you, the taxpayer. It is time for a new perspective of city finances. If you want someone who is going to be a liaison and be educating you and reporting directly to you, speak up and engage you, is passionate about helping keep our taxes low, then I, Cynthia Gutierrez, am your candidate for City Treasurer. I ask for your vote on February 28th. Pido su voto este 28 de febrero. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everybody. I also want to thank the ABC committee for putting together tonight's forum for us. And since we have like 1,000 candidates here, I also brought copies of my bio that you can take on the way out. They're on the table, and I'll do my best to give you the Cliff Notes version tonight. So I was born and raised here in this community, and I've lived here my entire life, other than the 4 years that I was down at school. And growing up here, I was just extremely blessed to have some excellent teachers and great mentors from my church and the community, people that just went out of their way to make sure I had a chance to be successful in my education and later on by extension to my career. And I'm very lucky to be at a point in my life now where I've been able to give back to this community that's been so good to me over the years. Whether that's volunteering for non-for-profits that I'm passionate about and I believe in, or by using the skills and experiences that I've been able to gain in my own career in banking to better serve the residents of my hometown, which is just a tremendous privilege for me. For those of you that don't know me very well, I went to St. Leonard's School here in Berwyn. I was very active in the Boy Scout program there. After I made the rank of Eagle Scout, I continued to volunteer as a Scout leader. I went to Morton West High School, and then I went on to attend the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where I earned a degree in finance from the College of Business. I then have spent the last 15 years in the commercial banking industry. My first few years was spent as a credit analyst, where I was analyzing financial statements and audits and budgets for a wide variety of different businesses, non-for-profits, and government entities. I started to progress in my career, and I started to work more closely with borrowers and customers in managing large loan portfolios, in some cases as large as $100 million in asset size. Currently, I serve as Vice President and Commercial Loan Team Leader for a $525 million bank in LaGrange. And in addition to managing my own team of lenders, I'm still responsible for generating new commercial loan business, which I also have a great passion for, because that's a chance for me to work directly with families and small businesses in the community so that I can help them grow and achieve their financial goals. In terms of my involvement, I've been a member of the PAD YMCA Board of Directors now for the last 14 years. I'm a past president and current treasurer of the Y, and I'm proud that in my time on the board, we've awarded probably close to $1.5 million in scholarships to low-income kids and families and seniors so that they could use the Y facility and become members at a subsidized rate. I've been a member of the Berwyn Development Corporation Loan Commission for about 9 years, and that's a program we've used successfully as an economic tool to either attract new businesses into this community or to assist businesses that are already here. In my role with the city, I've served as treasurer of both the Berwyn Police and Fire Pension Fund, our city's 911 board. I'm the treasurer of my local Rotary Club, and I'm a past treasurer and a current vice president of a 300-member business association in the western suburbs. And I'm doing all this because this has always been my home, and I love it here, and this is where I want to be for many years to come. When I had the chance in 2008 to join Mayor Lavero's team, I was thrilled to have that opportunity, and I'm very proud of all the hard work that we've done together over the last 8 years to ensure that Berwyn remains fiscally strong and solvent and has liquidity. And I'll be the first to say that there's still a lot of work to do and challenges that we're facing, but I would be tremendously honored to have an opportunity to serve a third consecutive term as your city treasurer so that I can continue to do the hard work on behalf of my fellow citizens. Thank you very much.
I'd like to have all the candidates over here. Again, we'll be asking questions, and since we didn't get too many cards back, I assume that people, okay, if you bring the cards. If we'll be taking questions from the floor first, I'll start on the left side, then the right side. Again, please stand so you can be recognized. Raise your hand so you can be recognized, and when you ask your question, please stand and state what ward you live in, so this way we know what part of the city you're from.
Anyone on this side? With questions already?
All right. The candidates will have 1 minute to answer your questions, so please ask questions that they can answer. And again, it's not a debate. Ask your question, one question please, so this way we get around to everybody. And then we can move on. If we have time at the end, we'll give you time to ask a second question. All right? Candidates, you ready? Sure. Okay, on this side first.
I have a question about the gambling parlors in Berwyn. We have 59 right now, according to Illinois Gaming.
Excuse me, who is the question for?
I'm sorry. The question is for Mayor Mayoral. We have 59 of these gambling parlors right now, which according to the Illinois Gaming Board is more than any other suburban Chicago land. The money they're bringing in, according to the Better Government Association, accounts for less than 1% of Berwyn's entire budget. Also, according to the Better Government Association, the owners of these gambling parlors have donated thousands of dollars to your campaign funds over the past 5 or 6 years. Do you see a conflict of interest in that at all? And can we expect another 59 if you're elected over the next 4 years?
First of all, there's a difference between gambling parlors as you're defining them. There are gaming lounges and there are licensings with bars and restaurants. The gaming lounges are capped at 15. We don't even have 15 yet. The bars and restaurants, there is a new ordinance that was passed by the council that restricts when they can get their license. There's no cap on those. They can get their license after they've been open for a year. So the 59 that you say we have bring in approximately $40,000 a month, which helps us offset the cost for fire, police, public works, and the services that the city does provide. As far as them contributing to my campaign, I don't go out and solicit anybody to contribute to my campaign. I have people around me that may solicit that. I personally do not, and it does not matter if they contribute to my campaign or not. That doesn't guarantee anybody a license.
Okay, I ask that you hold your applause so that we can get through the meeting, otherwise we'll be here till midnight. Okay, now a question on this side. Yes, Berwyn?
I wanted to throw something at Theodore tonight, but we may not get around to it. So I'm going to speak to Mayor Olivero. I don't have a question, Mayor, I have a statement. I've lived in Berwyn for 61 years, and I didn't grow up in Berwyn. I've lived in the same building on the same street in the 6th Ward for 61 years. I've seen mayors come, I've seen mayors go. I have never seen a mayor in all of these years that had a sincere intent on keeping Berwyn at a higher level with improvements throughout this city. Mayor, may the force be with you.
Okay, question on this side. Anybody? Questions? 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 Yes.
I have one question.
Question 4, please.
The mayor,
And what ward do you live in?
first ward. I have a question. What are we going to do? I realize Roosevelt Road is have every restaurant you can think of. 22nd Street is doing real well. I'm over in the isolated area of Ogden Avenue that seems to have nothing going on but title maps and a McDonald's. What are they doing with all the buildings that are there and the open spaces? Are they ever going to bring anything like those restaurants back in it, or is it just going to be car dealerships and?
Well, as you know, Ogden Avenue has always been the car avenue. Sure. Ogden Avenue has always been basically the automobile venue. So most automobile dealerships or parts places want to go towards that venue because that's where the dealers are. Myself, along with the Berwyn Development Corporation, have been attending the shows at Navy Pier yearly to try and lure businesses to Ogden Avenue. Some of the problems we've run across is with McDonald's, to tell you the truth, because of the property they own and the restrictions they put on the deed. We've been fighting with them to get those restrictions removed because there are places that are interested in coming in. But as we all know, commercial development looks at vehicular traffic, the numbers. And Roosevelt Road and Cermak Road had the higher numbers and most people wanted to flock to that, especially the Cermak and Harlem. But we are working tirelessly to get more businesses on Ogden Avenue, most definitely.
I mean, because you've got, just adjacent to Walgreens, that was a car dealership that's gone now, used car place. What used to be Lopez Furniture, I think there's an adjacent place next to that. Our Times is doing great, you know, but there needs to be more in that respect in that area, a little closer to Harlem Avenue.
I agree.
You know, I mean, Harlem Avenue in Ogden is quite a busy area.
I agree with you, and that's what the BDC and I are working on, is to get more of that commercial development on Ogden Avenue. I actually thought Ogden would take off sooner than Roosevelt Road, to tell you the truth, when I first started, and it didn't. So we are still working on Ogden Avenue. That's our one major business corridor that hasn't grown up as much as the other two. So I agree with you, and that's part of what the Berwyn Development Corporation and myself are working on.
Okay, this side, any question? Yes. Please stand.
I have a question for Joe.
What ward do you live in?
Fourth. So since 2012, Berwyn has had many Safe Drinking Water Act violations. We have 14 of them. These range from total coliform, which is animal and human waste, lead and copper rule exceedances, public notice rule, which is when the drinking water does not meet the acceptable standards, or when Berwyn has failed to test the water, and then also the consumer confidence rule, which is the annual report. When I look on the website for Illinois EPA, who does the Safe Drinking Water Act testing, I don't see any other communities around us. I see Cicero has 4, North Riverside has 2 violations. We have 14, and we've had more even in the previous 3 years. That's only the data that goes back. They only have it for the past 3 or 5 years online. So in your view, why do you think Berwyn cannot comply with the Safe Drinking Water Act recommendations, and what is the city going to do? How are we going to get notified, and how are we going to get safe drinking water from the city?
Truthfully, I'm not an expert in water quality or contamination, so I'll answer that from a financial perspective, if that's okay. So I think it's important what we've done in the last 8 years to essentially get enough money into our general fund, and we've also put millions of dollars into our capital fund and our utility fund so that we have monies for infrastructure projects. We have to continue to seek additional grant monies so we could.
This isn't infrastructure, this is testing, and this is notifying citizens.
Can I answer that question? Because he's the city treasurer, obviously that doesn't fall under his purview. Okay, that would be our Public Works Department. And our Public Works Department there has been a couple of times that our city engineers have failed to file the paperwork on time. That's the majority of those complaints. We always are required to send out notices to our citizens, and we have done that. In fact, we duplicated it at one time that the IEPA said that we didn't do enough. However, our last test shows that we don't even have to test again for at least another 3 years. So our water is safe to drink. What we do warn people of is the potential of the lead in your home when you turn on your water, where the water thing is, the main water main. You need to make sure that if there's a problem, you need to run your cold water tap for at least, I think it's about 10-15 seconds. So our water is safe, and the IEPA has approved it.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read some of the questions that were submitted. This one is for Alderman Palashek. Why did you vote against tax levies, then vote for spending?
Thank you. Voting for tax levies, you put money aside and you have to make a budget. The problem is that we keep outspending our budget. When you have taxes that when you want to keep spending taxes and keep raising taxes for all your residents, it keeps affecting them. We have to hold the line. If we don't hold the line, your taxes will eventually double. It's, as we progress, as we move forward from 2009 when we got in office, I did vote for one tax increase. And I put my foot down and I said, this will be the only tax increase that I will vote for. But as we kept on spending money, I kept on voicing my opinion saying, what are we going to do? How are we going to start adjusting this budget? But we won't balance the budget, and we still haven't. So when you vote on a levy and you ask for abatement, and you ask for certain monies to be put aside, but I don't want to keep raising taxes, I draw the line with raising taxes. Thank you.
One more question for you. How can you serve the public in Berwyn when you are committed to serve Cicero in an emergency?
Well, it's simple. It's the same cause you're serving the public. I've dedicated my life serving the public from I was a kid, since I've been 15 volunteering at Suckle. I believe in this community, and I'll die for this community. Because I'm a fireman does not discredit me at all. The current mayor also has another job also. But that doesn't take away what I want to do for the city. There's no conflict of interest. I dedicate my life and my services to our community.
Thank you. Next one is for Alderman March Paul. You claim to be pro-union when in fact you voted 8 times in the last 8 years against union contracts. Why are you clearly against unions?
Thank you for the question. I'm not against unions. I actually grew up in a union home. My dad was a Teamster. But I'm an alderman, and that means that I'm management. And so it means that I have to take an eye toward the fiscal responsibilities of the city as opposed to what the unions are asking for employees. I think you have to bargain hard. I believe in collective bargaining. I believe that bargaining has to be hard on both sides of the table. So when the unions go, they go to union meetings, they're trained on how to bargain. I can't say that I would ever be ready to bargain a union contract. Those are tough, difficult kinds of things. I voted against them because I didn't believe that this administration bargained hard enough. And because I'm management and I sit on the other side of the table, that's why I voted no. Thank you very much.
This is for Mayor Lavero. How does the city hire contractors? What is the bid process, or is there a bid process?
There is a bid process. It's clearly spelled out in our ordinance. If there's anything under $10,000, it doesn't have to be bid. What we usually do, though, is we get 3 quotes. We always come with 3 quotes so that we make sure we're getting the fair price. Anything over $10,000 has to be bid. There's been a lot of talk about the trees in this town that it's a no-bid system. That is totally false. There was a bid contract that was brought forward, and in fact, the company that won is the same company that everybody complained about. They were the lowest bidder. And guess what? In the communities all surrounding us, they don't bid. They do vendor contracts. We bid.
Mayor, one more question. Where will the $3.5 million collected through red light camera be allocated?
It's very simple. Anybody that can read our budget online, anytime, you're welcome to go online and see our budget. Basically, I don't know where they came up with $3.5 million, but the monies that come in from the red light cameras goes into our general fund, which is approximately $53 million. Our regular fund, including TIFs, water fund, and some of the other pass-throughs, is about $94 million. That goes into the general fund that pays for police protection, fire protection, public works. It covers all your city services.
Okay. This one did not have a name on who it was directed to, but it's for the treasurer. Is treasurer a full-time job?
So treasurer, to me, I spend lots and lots of hours on the various things that I do for the city. We have disability hearings for the 2 pension boards. We have meetings with the pension to take good investments to make sure that that balance continues to grow. We obviously have our city council meetings here, and just a lot of things out and about in the city that I'm constantly involved in. So obviously I have a full-time career and I spend a lot of time on that, but you could ask my wife that I'm spending lots and lots of time at night at meetings, coming from LaGrange to Berwyn to participate in things here at the city, working with Rashid and his team at the finance staff. So I like to think of it as there's 2 full-time jobs that I'm serving. Thank you.
Okay, I believe this one is for Alderman Plashek. What will you do as mayor to prevent hardworking families from being forced out of their homes, gentrified, due to the influx of people moving into the area?
Thank you. This is a working class community, and I'm very proud that I'm a working class member. I'm a proud union member. I understand the importance of the dollar. I understand the importance of the diversity of the community. I'm from a family of immigrants. Nothing in my life has ever been handed to me. I've always had to fight for everything. So I'm proud to be the carrier of the torch for the common Joe, for the average citizen. I don't care where you come from, who you are. If you're a person that needs help, or if you're a person that is in our community, I'm there. I believe in our community, I believe in our working class, I believe in our unions. I believe in the clubs that help build this town, or the city. And I believe that we have a lot more improvements to do for our citizens and our residents through programs. Thank you.
That's all the questions. All right, we obviously can't answer all or ask all the questions that were submitted because we're time restricted. But I'd like to thank the candidates that are here for their time and coming to us and giving us some information about themselves and what they plan to do for the city of Berwyn and for the citizens of Berwyn. Again, thank you all for coming up. Next, we're going to have the township candidates for township supervisor and township assessor. Please step forward.
Jim, we back to 5 minutes?
For township supervisor, yes.
Okay.
Well, we're going to have you all here, so we're going to use enough time back and forth. Okay, our first speaker is going to be candidate Linda Callahan Campy for Township Supervisor.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is quite a crowd. I'm Linda Callahan Camp, not Campy. It's okay.
I did it again.
So my goal is to be your Berwyn Township Supervisor. I'm a lifelong resident of Berwyn. I've raised 3 smart, successful children in this community. I'm also a lifelong Girl Scout. I have over 28 years in supervisory and leadership positions. While working full-time and raising my 3 successful children, I decided I needed to go back to school, so I did. I earned my master's degree in public health from the University of Illinois. I care deeply about our community and the health and well-being of the citizens, from the youngest child to the oldest senior citizen. Elected, I'll bring you fresh eyes. I'll bring you new ideas. I'll create and revitalize programs that you need and that you deserve for all the tax dollars that you put in. I intend to use my experience and my knowledge to evaluate the programs that are existing right now and to keep what works, but to toss out what doesn't. I'll use the resources we have to develop the new programs so sorely needed in the community. I have the experience, I have the education, and I have the energy to bring a change for the better for our township. But I can't do that without your support. So I hope that you'll help me reach my goals to be your next Berwyn Township Supervisor, and vote for me on February 28th. Thank you.
Next speaker, Elizabeth Peckus.
Thank you to the ABC. Also, thank you all for coming out this evening. I'm Elizabeth Peckus. I am your current Berwyn Township Supervisor. I've been your Berwyn Township Supervisor since 2009. Previous to being supervisor, I was an employee at the Berwyn Township for 16 years. I learned my job by doing my job. Also, besides that, I've been a 15-year school board member on District 100. I've been involved in the community. I'm a past president of Kiwanis, charter member of the newly formed Berwyn Lions Club. Come join that one too if you like. I think it's 26 members strong, and we just started in November. I have learned a lot on my job. I've been involved with many different organizations. I've been involved with the Township Supervisors of Illinois, as chairman of the General Assistance Training Institute. Through that, I've gone out across the state and helped teach fellow supervisors and caseworkers how to properly administer the General Assistance Handbook. Those of you who don't know what General Assistance is, it is welfare for people that can't get help somewhere else. That help is often given to people that are disabled and pending disability, and it's also for people that are out of work and can't get assistance elsewhere. I'm proud of the job that we've done. One of the other things that I feel is important as a elected official and a community member is to make sure that we're good stewards of those things that we're entrusted to by our residents. The health district, we have updated several things. We've redone the pathway in the park. We've replaced trees. The trees came down that were diseased. We replaced those with new trees. We put up an electronic sign to make things more visible so our residents know what's happening in town. The current board on the health district is looking into a generator to make sure that, again, those things that you've invested in are protected and safeguarded. Those are the things that we try to do. I'd love to move forward for another 4 years and be your township supervisor. I've done a good job, and I would love to continue doing that for you. Thank you.
The next position is for township assessor. We did have 3 candidates, but I'm not sure if they're all still on the ballot or not. But I know David is, so we have David Avila.
I want to thank everyone for showing up. It's a great crowd. I want to really thank President Jean Lotus of the ABC Committee. I know that it almost discontinued. Thank you for keeping it going. I also want to make a correction. Earlier, one of the candidates had stated that our tax rate is double Oak Parks and Riverside. It is not. Our tax rate is 15.044 as of 2014. Oak Parks is 12.296. Riverside is 12.410. And if you're matching the actual, because we have 12 taxing bodies, if you actual measure the city tax rate and city tax rate, I mean, Riverside has 8,875 people, and we have 56,758 people. So, considering our tax rate should be 5 times more, but it's not. And I think that's a compliment of what the city's doing. I grew up here in the Berwyn area. I went to Morton West, Morton College, Western Illinois University. I was a teacher. I was a policy director for Cook County, helping write ordinances and legislation. I did an internship at the White House, which was pretty cool. Before I actually became elected, I started doing workshops. We did the homeowners workshop in the pet clinic, and actually Mayor Rivero, before he was even mayor, him and I got together to start doing these things. Some of the things that I've done since coming into office 3 years ago I helped initiate the farmers market, initiated a new recycling program at the facility, co-authored a Berwyn Children's Wellness Program to alleviate child obesity, helped introduce a senior wellness check program. On the agenda is for Eyes for Education to help our children get eyeglasses. A lot of them don't even have them. Some of the workshops that I've helped organize is the annual pet clinic we have, the homeowners symposium that we have a free legal clinic that we do with the mayor, self-defense class. I also started helping out with landmark exemptions and senior tax deferral program. I actually wanted to also thank my wife, who's not here because she's taking care of our young kids. She's probably the backbone. She's the reason why I'm able to run. This whole week, I've probably gotten home late as far as Tuesday, Lions Club meeting, Wednesday, Fix the Funding meeting. And you know, I really encourage everyone here there's a lot of great organizations here in Berwyn. And I'd really like to see, you know, some of you guys to participate. It'd be great. And I know like people who are running for the first time, like Scott Lennon and Alicia Ruiz and Richard Lajas. And they've been really involved in the community before they even started running. I think they didn't even know that they were going to run until the mayor decided, hey, these guys are people, or these people are people that are committed to community, have already been doing community work in the community. And these are the type of people we want to have on the team. And I'm very proud to be part of the Mayor Libero's team. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any questions for these candidates? We'll start on this side first. Yes.
Third Ward, Linda Campy.
Question 4
is you work for Cermak Health, the county jail basically. My question is, would you be giving that full-time job up to take the health department supervisor job as full-time?
Well, thanks for asking, Marty. So yes, I would need to leave that job. It'll be very disappointing to many of my staff because I've led them through all these years with respect, but I feel that they'll be in good shape because I've given them all the tools they need to do a successful job, and my staff are very happy in their jobs. In fact, I've also given them the opportunities to go back to school, and 3 of my staff have gone back to school while working under my mentorship and got their college degrees as well.
All right, the other side, yes.
Yes, I have a question for Beth Peckus.
What ward do you live in?
8. I was wondering why, with the advent of 2- and 3-income families now, all the health fairs and everything are always held during the day, during the week, with no weekend hours, no evening hours, like it's still the same.
Yes, there are a lot of hardworking families out there. With our health fair, we rely on many of the physicians and organizations to come. If you've been to the health fair during our health fair, we have vendors that are set up outside. Many of those agencies and organizations won't come on a weekend. We have tried to do events on a Saturday. We tried the Well Woman event that we held at the VFW, and frankly, picking everything up and moving over, there were not that many attendees. So we've been trying very, very hard to try to figure out how do you manage the hours? Do you do a weekend? And again, input from the community is been asked for and is needed. Thank you.
Question on this side, Myrtle? Question?
I don't have a question again.
Short statement, short, because you were not supposed to be making a statement. Short statement.
Well, I'm turning it into a statement.
Okay.
This is for Supervisor Peckus. I have watched you since you became supervisor. I have had cause to call upon your office, and I know other people that have too. You have cooperated 100%. I think that you have done a marvelous job, and to you too, madam, may the force be with you.
questions on this side? Anybody? Anyone? Yes?
Fifth Ward, I could ask with that, yes, already. I should have asked the mayoral candidates, but I'm really concerned with what's going on right now, that Berwyn remain a welcoming community and that our residents can know that no Berwyn City or Township employee, police, fire, what have you, are going to be asking them for their immigration status. That none of them are going to be participating in federal immigration enforcement, which is a federal job. I feel that's the kind of community we need to remain, and I would like to ask both of you if you can support that.
Without a doubt, I can support that. With the Orlando killings, the township was right up there supporting our community. What we tried to present to the community is, while there's things that are going on at a national level, know that this is still a safe place. Berwyn is your home, Berwyn is your family, and we do look out for one another.
I do definitely support inclusion of every person from every walk of life, no matter where you come from, no matter where you're going. I feel it's very important that people feel safe in their community and that they know that they can be a part of it, and no matter where you're at, this is America, and we are welcoming.
Again, I'd like to thank the candidates for coming, and again, keep an open mind, find out more information about them, so when it comes time to vote, you'll be an informed voter. Thank you. Our next group is going to be the largest group here, because we have 8 candidates in each ward, or in each of the wards. Altogether is 8, 2 in each ward. So I'm going to ask all the candidates for aldermen to please step forward. DOCB on this side, DCOB on this side, Berwyn United on this side. And please put yourself in order so we'll take you by wards.
Jim, do they all know that? Jim, do they all know?
I'm going to tell them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all candidates, again, because we have so many candidates today, we only have 2 minutes for each one to make a statement. So please come in, give us a little background about yourself, what you want to do as alderman, if you are an alderman now, or you want to be elected. And this way we can continue on to next. We'll go starting with the first ward.
Thank you, ABC. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Raise your hand if you're from the first. All right, not too many. All right. My name is Larry Dish, and I'm running for First Ward Alderman because you deserve good representation. I'll listen to you, and I'll be your voice in City Council. I will be your advocate. I've done this all my life, both professionally and privately. As a counseling professional, I developed skills of keen listening and persevering advocacy. As a member of a church for over 30 years, I was elected and served as a member of the pastoral team. And there, I learned how to balance the needs of a community. I've worked with students, families, persons with disabilities, the elderly, and sometimes just someone who needs a moment of help. I have the skills to do this work, a deep well of life experience and a strong character to do it with honesty and integrity. My wife Astrid has lived here my wife and I have lived here for 17 years, and she's my biggest supporter, and she's walked many, many miles with me throughout the ward during this campaign, helping me with my Spanish. I'm a father of 4 and a grandfather of an 8-year-old grandson who attends school at Irving. He keeps me young at heart. As your alderman, you will know me.
I will have annual town halls and walk every street of the ward each year to knock on your door. I will represent you with the promise of being a careful steward of city resources. I'm a person of integrity with no other ambition than to be part of a great neighborhood that includes you and needs you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Scott Lennon. I'm running for First Ward Alderman, and I'm not the best public speaker, and I have a loss for words sometimes, but not online or not in the public. So, anyway, my partner and I, Joseph, moved here 15 years ago. Both of us have been heavily involved in the community and in community events. I'm the Vice President of the Berwyn Development Corporation. Been on there advocating marketing for the city, bringing in new business, events, soliciting basically all new residents from Chicago, participated in many studies, TOD study, CMAP study. I've been on the steering committee for Cermak Road Historic Buildings. I've attended city council meetings for the last 3 administrations. I understand municipal government, and I'm an active volunteer at all events in the entire city of Berwyn. I've been interviewed at CBS News, Chicago Tribune, Suburban Life, on the marketing efforts that I have put forth and helped out to attract business and residents into our wonderful community. I'm the recipient of the 24th Charles E. Piper Award in 2009. I'm a member of the Moose and Lions Club. My commitment to the First Ward is to make sure that all residents will be heard, make sure all residents will see me, make sure all residents will see me at events, knocking on doors, and making sure that they are being served by me. I will make sure that we push and strive for economic development in the First Ward, make sure that the Depot Streetscape is going to get done, and we'll have the funds to get that done moving forward, and to make sure that all empty storefronts will be filled. Also, I vow to make sure that we keep, oh, no, sorry. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
It's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Everybody. Give me 2 minutes. Alderman?
Hi, my name is Jeff Boyajian. I'm a lifelong resident in the city of Berwyn, and I'm the current Second Ward Alderman. I've lived in the Second Ward since 1993 with my wife Jennifer and my 2 kids, Josh and Jenna. I grew up in the 3rd Ward with my parents, James and Marlene, and my 3 brothers, James, John, and Mark. I attended both Emerson and Irving schools in District 100, and I attended Morton West High School, where I graduated in 1986. My wife Jennifer and I have been married since 1991, and like my parents have chosen Berwyn to stay and raise our family. My wife Jennifer grew up in Stickney, and she attended Edison School, Morton West, and Morton College. She has worked for South Berwyn School District 100 at Hiawatha School since 2001. My children Josh and Jenna both attended, like I said, Pershing and Freedom Schools and Morton West High School. Josh, like me, is a certified EMT and firefighter with the Stickney Fire Department since 2012 and is pursuing a career in the fire service. And my daughter Jenna is currently a junior at Benedictine University, where she's studying to be a special education teacher. Like my father, a Berwyn police officer, I have committed my adult life to public service. In 1980, I joined the Berwyn Emergency Services and Disaster Service, ASDA, as a volunteer cadet. The 6 years I spent volunteering with ASDA evolved into becoming a certified firefighter and EMT. I have been with the part-time Stickney Fire Department since 1986, currently holding the rank as Deputy Chief. I have been employed full-time with the Stickney Public Works Department since 1990, where I'm currently Public Works Supervisor. I also sit on the Village of Stickney 911 Board Village Tree Committee, and the Village Safety Committee. Thank you.
Originally, we said we're going to give them 1 minute. 2 minutes doesn't seem to be long enough. So, they're doing good. Next candidate, Jose Ramirez.
I want to thank the ABC group for hosting this for us. My name is Jose Ramirez, and I am running for Alderman in the 2nd Ward. I've lived here for about 18 years. I am married to a very patient man, and we've been together 26 years. And we have 2 16-year-old boys who keep me on my toes, to say the least. I believe that the 2nd Ward Alderman should be present and be around the ward for the betterment of the community. I am a product of immigrant parents who instilled early in me the value of an education. It's this value I pass on to my kids, and it's this value I feel that the city of Berwyn should pass on to the children of Berwyn. Education is very important to me. This is why I became active in the community. I love Berwyn. I am an active member of the South Berwyn Education Foundation, and we have raised over $1 million for the children of District 100 for special projects. I had a business in the Depot District for over 7 years. At that time, I became active in the Berwyn Development Corporation. I sat on various committees in the BDC. I helped recruit new businesses and people to the city of Berwyn. And I actually see one person in the back over there who actually came up to me about a couple of years ago and said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." He goes, "You met me when you were at the booth, at the BDC booth at Market Days, and because you sold Berwyn to me, we moved to Berwyn." I want to bring back the pride to the residents of the 2nd Ward. Together, I think we can tackle blight and help lower crime by working with the police. I will fight for improvement in city services. No resident should ever feel unwanted at City Hall. The last 8 years, there have been really no new ideas from City Hall on cutting waste. We can't afford business as usual. I will ask the right questions. I will fight for a balanced budget. I will help pass ethics reform and make sure your voice is heard. That's why I'm here. I am asking for your vote February 28th for Alderman of the 2nd Ward. Thank you.
The next candidate is Janine Reardon. Janine?
Hello. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Even closer. Thank you for inviting me and including me in this forum.
My name is Janine Reardon, and I am running to be the 3rd Ward Alderman. I am an ordained pastor and a hospital chaplain. I listen to people and connect them to resources for a living. My wife is deeply involved in this community, and our daughter is a Piper Bear. We are committed to Berwyn and to our neighbors. We are committed to public schools and public resources. I love my neighbors. And I love and I'm proud to live in Berwyn. I live just down the street on Wesley. Streets, sewers, sidewalks, and trees are big issues in this ward. And they are very important to me, and they are top priorities for me. But I am also concerned with who is treated well in this city and how we are perceived in this region. Pay-to-pay politics and nepotism diminish all of us. They cost us money, and they cost us respect. Controlling spending and opening the doors of city government so that everyone can see what we do and that our government is accountable to the public is of the utmost importance. And they are essential to our shared life together. I believe we can do better. I believe we must do better. I hope I can count on your vote on February 28th. Thank you very much.
The 3rd Ward is the only ward that we have 3 candidates in there, so our next candidate is Kevin Peckus.
Good evening, thank you. My name is Kevin Peckus. For those of you, I know most of you in the room, and for those that don't, I'm a product of the 3rd Ward. I've lived in Berwyn my whole life, went to school here, Emerson, Morton, Loyola University, John Marshall Law School, practicing attorney. When I graduated law school, I worked for the Illinois Attorney General's office. I dedicated my life to public service. From the Illinois Attorney General's office, I got my 7-Eleven certificate from our old mayor, Joseph Lanzalotti, and had the privilege to working with Mr. Lavero as a prosecutor, helping him out in 1990 in this town. So I'm vastly aware of the city of Berwyn. I've worked with acting Chief Mike Simaglia, Frank Simaglia. I am a litigator. I was a Cook County State's Attorney for 8 years. When I was in the State's Attorney's office, within 6 months of being in the State's Attorney's office, I was promoted to felony review. Out of this Maywood Courthouse here, I prosecuted for Berwyn, Cicero, Riverside, North Riverside, LaGrange Park, Westchester, Oak Park, Franklin Park, Bellwood, Maywood, Schiller Park at the time. We had 20 municipalities. There were 2 people on felony review at all times. I proved each and every felony case in the city of Berwyn, every felony case that came across my or my partner's desk. I know how to make a tough decision. I know what it's like to make a tough decision. I had to decide if somebody was going to be going into the felony system and have the potential to be going to the Illinois State Penitentiary, not jail. So I know what it's like to make a tough decision. After the State's Attorney's office, I set up my own private practice, and I'm a litigator. I am vastly aware of what's going on in the 3rd Ward. I've been married for 22 years. When I met my wife, I said, I only have one requirement of you. We're gonna live in Berwyn. So we do. We have one daughter, and like I said, I've been a resident of the 3rd Ward. I am not afraid to make a tough decision. For those that know me, you know I do. For those that don't know me, ask one of the people that know me and they'll tell you. And I'm not afraid to make a tough decision. I get along with everyone. I get along with the mayor. I want to give a shout out to Marge Paul. She will tell you I get along with people. That's what I do for a career. And I will be a fantastic alderman, and I thank you.
The next candidate in the 3rd Ward is Richard Leha.
Hello, I am Richard Leja. I am running for 3rd Ward Alderman. My wife Patricia and I have been married for 40 years. We have lived in the 3rd Ward for 36 years, so I know the ward intimately. I was a union painter for 40 years, Local 191, District Council 14. I retired in December of 2015, and I am now a lifetime member with the union, so I have plenty of time to devote to the residents of the ward. In my Berwyn life, I have been involved in this community for nearly 30 years. At St. Leonard's Parish, I was Cub leader, Cub master, and Boy Scout leader. I was one of the founding members of the St. Leonard's School Board, a member of the Parish Pastoral Council, a member of the Holy Name Society. I am a 4th degree Knight of Columbus, a member of the Berwyn YMCA. I've been a Sokol member since the early 2000s. I'm a member of the Berwyn Historical Society and head usher at the Latin Mass at St. Odilo Church. In 2013 and 14, I was chairman of the History and Research Committee for the Vietnam Moving Wall that we brought here to Berwyn. In that capacity, I searched throughout the United States for family members of the fallen men from Berwyn who were on the wall. I found many of them and worked the logistics to successfully bring them here. I've already helped out with the 3rd Ward, solving problems such as blight, alleys that needed attention, and even a returning disabled vet who had housing problems. So I'm asking for your vote February 28th, punch 10 for Richard Legion. Thank you.
Our next candidate is for the 4th Ward, Edgar Anaya.
Good evening. About 22 plus years ago, me and my family moved from Little Village to a small apartment to a wonderful, big, beautiful house on 2849 Highland. and I've been happy to call Berwyn my home since. Since I've been, apologies, first time public speaking. Since I've been here, I've seen a lot of great things in Berwyn. I remember first grade through high school. I love playing on the football team at Morton. I love going to Morton College. I started working at Sam's Club in 2010 now, going on 7 years. Right here in Cicero, one of the busiest Sam's Clubs. So if you guys don't see me here in the 4th Ward, you could always catch me at work in the Cicero Sam's Club, and trust me, I will answer all questions. I love staying busy. I love this community. Walking around, petitioning, I've noticed one major thing, that we've been very misrepresented in the 4th Ward. A lot of people didn't even know we had aldermen here. So if I am elected, I will work very hard with the current administration. This great bunch of aldermen over here to my left have been like brothers and sisters to me. So when I didn't have the answers, Cedar Santoy can tell you, I bother him almost all the time to get the right answer. But I promise you one thing. If I am elected, I will keep working, and keep working. This town is so beautiful, and I can only see the progression keep going up from here. Thank you for your time.
Next candidate from 4th Ward is Alderman Bob Fate.
Hi, I'm Bob Fate. I've give you a little bit of my background. I'm here for re-election for February 28th primary. Born and raised in Berwyn. I'm married to my wife Sandra for 30 years. Daughter Lauren attends Hiawatha School. Member of the Berwyn Fire Department, owner of a landscape business. I've been involved with the community the last 35 years, a member of St. Leonard's Church and the South Berwyn Education Foundation. I'm very honored and humbled by all the support I receive from the residents of the 4th Ward. And without their help, we together could not have been able to accomplish the things we have within the ward. Monthly cleanups have been a success, neighbors working with neighbors, kids getting volunteer time for schools, and a lot of trash has been cleaned off the streets. Ward meetings are held twice a year, April and October, have also been a success due to residents' participation. Usually we have a speaker from the city talk and conversation takes place about what's going on within our neighborhoods. A newsletter goes out once a year in spring to help keep the residents informed what's going on within city council meetings. Blight has always been a passion of mine. By driving up and down alleys, sometimes I feel if I'm going to get pulled over by the police and ask what I'm doing. With residents' assistance, many times I've made TV and tire runs to help pick up tires and TVs and take to Public Works. One of my passions is our grade schools. For the last 4 years, my family and I have every year since 2013 donated $2,000 of my Aldermanic salary to help out our 4 schools within our ward, Hiawatha, Kamensky, St. Odilo, and Freedom Middle School. I am asking everybody for their support of our schools this April. We need to keep our music, art, and after-school programs going and alive and repair our buildings. Good schools equal good community. For the future, if I'm reelected, we need to start to repair our streets and alleys. We need to start a yearly program of resurfacing 10 to 20 blocks a year and make our streets that are now 25 years old. And we can't wait to resurface them all at one time. We also need to budget for this every year and not bound out using our motor fuel tax and vehicle sticker revenue put into a special account for this. I also need to reforest our city due to the emerald ash borer. Within the next 2 months, I will introduce to council a proposal to help plant more trees in the city. If reelected, I promise to keep having twice-a-year ward meetings, ward cleanups, donate to our schools, put out a newsletter once a year, and also keep an eye on blight, and respond to the residents' needs, and try to help with the city the best I can. Thank you.
Okay, 5th Ward candidate for Alderman Jean Lotus.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again to the ABC and for all of you for joining. It's really great to see this crowd out and be involved in the civics in the city.
Like you said, my name is Jean Lotus, and I'm running to be the 5th Ward Alderman. I was born and raised in Berwyn, went to St. Leonard's School. It's great to see some St. Leonard family here. I served as a Eucharistic minister there while in high school. I went to Morden West and graduated from DePaul University. I graduated with a dual degree in communications and sociology and have been working in policy since I've been in school, actually. I work in criminal justice reform and am president of the Illinois Juvenile Justice Commission's Youth Advisory Board. And I really hope that everyone here can resound this in saying that your family and my family, we all have the best neighbors and the best community. I'm really essentially running to give back to them. I'm running because neighbors shouldn't have a connection or have to have the time to pester someone in order to be informed or receive help. I'm going to use my fresh and unique perspective to give residents an ethical government which is free of nepotism and pay-to-play politics, that is responsible, effective, and efficient with taxpayers' dollars. Recently I was in a meeting and someone looked at me and told me that I was quiet. And I didn't take that as an insult because it shouldn't be. I value the importance of listening. I would call myself a critical listener, and I think that's one of the most important parts of being an aldermanic candidate and later being an alderman. You need to listen to the residents and really hear the issues that they're facing. For so long, the resident concerns have been falling on deaf ears, and they're falling heavily there. Many people are considering leaving their homes that they've invested so much into, and that's not something that we want to see. People that love this community but just can't stand not being heard and not being responded to when they have issues. It's time for a change, and I will be honored to receive your vote and to be an alderman for the 5th Ward. Thank you so much.
The next ward is the 6th Ward. We have a candidate, Alicia. Oops, no, I'm sorry. Very sorry, Caesar. Alderman Caesar Santoy.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you to the ABC for putting this together. My name is Caesar Santoy. I'm the current 5th Ward Alderman, and I will be speaking very quickly here. This is my 2nd term as Alderman. I moved in 2006. I live here with my wife and our 2 children, and I come from a background in history of working with organizations, basically in getting involved. Working 9 to 5 is not enough for me. I always like to give back to my community. And when I ran in 2009, the best part of that experience was the people that I've met. So since my election, the things that I'm most proud of, I worked with several nonprofits. Kaboom is one of them, to bring new parks to the city of Berwyn at no cost to taxpayers. We had a total of 3. I worked with an organization called Rebuilding Together, Metro Chicago, to renovate homes here in Berwyn. 27 homes were renovated to low-income citizens, senior citizens, at no cost to them, no cost to the taxpayers. And in 2011, I partnered up with Lowe's to beautify street corners, 40 street corners throughout the city. All of my colleagues participated in that as well, and again, at no cost to the taxpayers. The best part of those 3 items was that we had a lot of volunteers. Things that I do on an annual basis: a Clean and Green, participate in the Berwyn Holiday Fund, and I host monthly ward meetings. So every 3rd Thursday of the month, open forum, a city city department head comes out, and it's just an opportunity, another way to interact with the city and learn more. But I have to say the thing that I'm most proudest of is working with residents. So when there's a call, when there's a request for service, to be able to help them and try to do the most I can to help them with their problem and with their issue. So thank you very much. I've enjoyed serving as your alderman. Have a great evening.
As I was saying, Alicia Rue is running unopposed, so we are not going to have her speak, but I did want to take this time to introduce her. Alicia Rue.
Thank you.
We will be available for questions if anybody has any questions of her. Okay, we will continue on with the 7th Ward, and our next speaker is Alderman Ralph Avila.
Thank you, Jim, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for putting this forum together and inviting me, allowing me to speak. I've been the alderman for the last 2 terms, going on my 8th year. When I became alderman, I had big shoes to fill. Our mayor was a previous alderman of the 7th Ward. I think I've done that. I'm hands-on with the residents. I get calls in the middle of the night, the weekends, all throughout the day about problems that they have, city services that they need. I'm there for them. One of the things that I'm blessed with is to be able to be part of a team that has put Berwyn back to where it's at today. We've opened up a lot of businesses. Everybody talked about the businesses we've opened up throughout the Berwyn business districts. Well, I'm more proud of the Cermak Plaza. 90 days after we first took office, we met with those owners and said, hey, you guys have to clean up this area for our citizens. They've done that. At that time, they had less than 30% occupancy. Today, we have over 100%. The reason why I say that is because we allowed them to build 2 buildings, one for the Walgreens and one for the First Steakhouse in Berwyn. Across the street, the same thing. Berwyn Gateway, very successful. A lot of good businesses for our residents. With these businesses, we have jobs that a lot of our residents have taken advantage of, which is great for them, good paying jobs, and also the tax revenue that the city has got for that. We're working real closely with the with the other bodies, the school board and the park board. North Park District, we actually, with them, we opened up and built 2 playgrounds for our children to utilize. Working with them right now with the North Park District to secure $1.5 million for a renovation of the Maple Pool. I'm understanding that the state budget, when it's approved, capital budget will be included and those monies will be there. We continue to work closely with them to assure that we get a good pool in this side of town. Thank you very much for your previous support. I want to please ask you to support me again on February 28th. There's a lot of work to be done. Thank you.
The next candidate is Alexandria Sandy Radke.
Good evening, and I'm awfully glad to see so many people here. My name is Sandy Radke, and I've lived in Berwyn with my husband, where we raised our 2 kids. We've been here 43 years. My children, Caitlin and Evan, attended St. Mary of South School and attended Fenwick High School. I am running because our city and our city finances have been mismanaged. We have had 5 years increase in taxes. We are $194 million in bond debt and a $3 million deficit this year. I am committed to passing strong ethics ordinances to reform and stop the pay-to-play politics. We need to balance our budget, and we need to ensure that public health and services and safety are #1 concern in our city. In my more than 30 years of civic involvement in Berwyn, I was instrumental in drafting the Fair Housing Ordinance back in the early 90s and helped create the Community Relations Commission. I was responsible for initiating the revitalization of Roosevelt Road. I am the one who brought Berwyn and Oak Park together to work on an agreement to begin revitalizing that road. Common border. The Oak Park and Berwyn wouldn't talk to each other for decades. I worked at the Northeastern Illinois Planning Commission for 32 years. I retired as Director of Governmental Affairs. I worked in the areas of housing, transportation, water quality. I worked with the City of Berwyn on 4 censuses, 1980, 90, 2000, and 2010. I have gone through the city's Citizens Fire Academy and the Police Academy. I served on the 911 board. This is my community. I want to make it better for the residents here. I hope to count on your vote on February 28th. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the 8th ward, our last ward, and we have candidate Edgar Jaime Garcia Perez.
All right. As everybody stated, thank you all for coming. Luckily, you're done to the end. Thank you for having us. My name is Edgar Jaime Garcia Perez. I'm a proud union member and a U.S. Marine. My wife and I of 17 years are proud to raise our 3 children here in Berwyn. They all attend Berwyn Public Schools. We are parishioners of St. Mary of South. I'm running for alderman because I believe our city council is broken. To me, the city council should serve as the legislative branch of our city government. The city council should be the checks and balances to the mayor's office. Currently, we have 5 out of the 8 city council members who basically are the mayor's rubber stamp. The 3 current aldermen who have stood up to the current mayor are running against him this time around. And in our homes, if we don't have the money in our budgets for what we want, we need to tighten our belts. We make do without. This administration has borrowed money to balance the budgets without cutting spending. We need to cut the waste and appoint an inspector general to look at the books, all the books. My activism is centered in organized labor and working families' issues for the past 13 years. I'm a proud member of the Painters and Allied Trades, treasurer of my local, delegate to my council. I've been the voice to my fellow union members, and I want to be the voice of the 8th Ward. With your help and your support on February 28th, I might be able to do that. Thank
you. Next, we have Alderman Nora Loretto. I'll take my glasses off. Put them on, people take them off. Hi, I'm Nora Loretto. I am the current alderman of the 8th Ward. I've been married to my husband Tony for 40 years. I have 2 wonderful kids, Michael, who's a fireman, and I promise to have regular ward meetings for the residents, work to revitalize the Roosevelt Road, work with the park districts, school districts, and community organizations to make the 8th Ward a better place, address parking issues, and represent the residents of the 8th Ward. I'm happy to say I've kept my promises. I've had regular ward meetings during my entire 8 years as alderman. We have new music venues, award-winning restaurants on Roosevelt Road, and I have started the Roosevelt Road Special Events Committee with the Berwyn Development Corporation. I cleaned and planted the Veterans Memorial at Commodore Barry every spring. Last year, students from Lincoln Middle School worked with me along to plant the memorial. I work every year with the North Berwyn Park District with their Think Green to clean Roosevelt Road, and last year, along with the help of Youth Crossroads, Berwyn Arts and Music, Local 506 firefighters, and the City of Berwyn Public Works, we designed and painted all of the fire hydrants in the 8th Ward up on Roosevelt Road into characters, which was really a nice event. New parking areas have been added behind Bona Beef and Toronto Bakery, taking employee parking out of our residential areas and making better neighbors. We've added stop signs, wayfaring signs, and zone parking to the 8th Ward. I've had perfect attendance at the City Council meetings since being elected, and I take this role very seriously. I would be honored to have your vote on February 28th.
Yeah.
Community efforts, and I'm going to leave my resume up here also. Okay, any questions on this side of the room? Yes? What more?
I have a question. I own in a 6. I'm here on behalf of my sister who is home with a sick child. But after hearing some stuff, I have to ask this question.
Okay.
Eddie and Teddy, you beat the union drum beautifully. I should call you my union brothers. I would like to know how you defend yourself in using Odelson and Stirk, one of the biggest union busting law firms there are. Across the street in North Riverside, where I happen to work, they're trying to bust the fire.
Excuse me, is this for the alderman?
Alderman, if Teddy wants to talk, he can, but it's for the alderman.
Okay.
Eddie and Teddy.
It's Edgar.
Sorry.
It's Edgar, but that's okay.
Theodore. I'll get it right if you give me all of them. Mr. Perez. Garcia.
I didn't start.
I know, I apologize. Not only accepting $1,000 from that law firm, but also giving them business on your ticket issue.
I can address that.
I look forward to it.
You defer.
Go ahead.
A law firm is a law firm that if they're your spokesman. If you hire whoever you hire, right now the city of Berwyn has what law firm?
That one I don't know who Berwyn has.
I do. You should know. You're Delgado.
Delgado. Okay. And what do you think Delgado does? Do you think that Delgado represents the unions, or do they represent?
Excuse me again. Let him answer.
Okay.
Ask the question. Let him answer.
Okay. I stand by my character. I stand by what I've done. I was up here and I supported the union as far as going from the non-union paramedics to union paramedics. So don't come here and tell me that I don't stand by any unions. I stand by any blue-collar person. I put together an RBO, a responsible bidder ordinance. And guess what happened to that? That is a very strong labor union ordinance. Okay? And what happened? They got hijacked and got tabled. So do not come here and preach to me that I'm not labor friendly or I don't carry a badge of honor that I'm a union man. I am a union man and I'm proud of it. I am proud of what the union's done for this community and I'm proud of what it's done for this country. And I can't believe that we're even having an argument about this. A law firm is a law firm and they take direction from you. I don't take direction from anybody, let alone, other than my mom and dad, that they guided me in the right direction, okay? But when it comes down to a law firm that you're paying, they don't direct you, you direct them. And I don't know what goes, listen, I was at the rallies. I was at the rallies in North Riverside, okay? So, yes, I was.
I wasn't for you, that was good.
Oh, okay.
Don't get so hostile.
Okay, we have to.
Oh, this is passionate, okay?
No,
This is passionate.
You're being hostile.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'll address the question since it was asked, and I'll take less than a minute. First of all, the hostility, I think, was mischaracterized. I think that's passion.
I didn't ask
Took my minute restart? So you asked about Odelson Stirk, okay? They represented us when your city council members tried to throw me off the ballot on a name issue, okay? Initially, the objection to my candidacy seemed legitimate. It was through a processing delay in the clerk's office. And once presented to them, once presented to the board, they were the ones who dragged their feet for political advantage and had it go to circuit court. They could have done the right thing. They had the chance to do the right thing. They let it go all the way to circuit court. Therefore, we needed, and we had, Odelson Stirk. Is that, and like Teddy said, you pay the attorney to represent you. So what happens in North Riverside, you need to talk to them about that.
A million attorneys.
Excuse me?
There's a million attorneys.
There is, but there's not that many to do election law.
Okay.
There's not that many to do election law.
Questions over on this side? Any questions? No? Yes.
I just want to give a shout out, positive direction here for Bob Fate, who's been our alderman. I'm Chana Sableski, I live in the fourth ward. He's done a fantastic job for us in the last 4 years. He's always been there to answer my calls, to address concerns we've had in the neighborhood. He's been very supportive of our schools. I'm also chair of Fix the Funding. And I can say that he's been hugely supportive for our schools, so just a shout out.
I just want to say quickly that being an elected official is no joke. I mean, you have to spend countless many times out of the house. You have to have a strong partner to be behind you. So having said that, I mean, like I said, I've been out of the house this whole week and organization meeting. But like I said, I'd like to hear from the candidates from both sides. For the last 4 years, what has your community service been in Berwyn and in the city of Berwyn?
Or which ward?
From all the wards.
Oh, we don't have time to go through all the wards. We're already approaching 9 o'clock.
The first two. First and second.
First and second?
No, wait a minute, I got a question.
Well, what ward do you live in? I know which ward you live in. Let's go with the second. Let's go with the second. Second ward, no candidate?
So as far as the community, I've been involved, like I said, in the South Berwyn Education Foundation, and we raised money for the District 100. I also sat on DAISY, which is the District, I always get the acronym bad, Advisory Committee for Educational Excellence, and I sat as far as business outreach. It's a great, sorry about that. And so DAISY is a great committee, and I sat on the business outreach. And what I wanted to do is, there was a school in Chicago called Bell, and Bell reached out to its business community, and anything it needed internally was done by the business community. So if it needed to be paint job, plastering, that way the money for education was spent on the children. So I learned a lot from that. So yeah, I've been involved in BDC also. I sat on various committees. I helped out with the Oktoberfest and actually ran the family pavilion for a couple of years. So I've done a lot in the community.
In the past 8 years as Alderman of the 2nd Ward, I've been involved with 3 Kaboom projects, which is playgrounds or parks throughout the city. Bricado at Head Park, that was a collaboration with Disney, Smurfs Park, and Mothers on a Mission Park in Berwyn Gardens. I've worked closely with the city's department heads to take care of everybody's concerns and issues in my ward. Jose, you could attest to that. Mayor Livero and myself have met with Jeff Tobolsky, the Commissioner of Cook County, to address Ridgeland Avenue with resurfacing and new curb and gutter to be put in, also sidewalk. We just would like to continue doing that work and moving forward and to make sure that this work gets finished. Thank you.
Again, I would like to thank all the candidates that came. Myrtle, I'm sorry, I have to go on. I have to cut you off. And thank you for coming up.
That's not fair to buy.
We have more trustees coming up next. Thank you very much. Last group of candidates we have are the trustees for Township. If you are planning on leaving, please do so quickly. We don't want to lose our time. Trustee candidates, up here, please.
Jim?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1
Is somebody sitting there anymore?
Okay, if you could quiet down, please. We want to get started so we can finish on time. All right, I'm going to call the candidates as they appear on my sheets. And they have a 1 minute statement that they'll make. Okay, we'll start with Elizabeth Jimenez, Township Trustee.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am also the ABC Secretary, so I do appreciate that we have so many people here today. My name is Elizabeth Jimenez. I am a 19-year resident here in Berwyn. I have 3 grown children. They all graduated from District 100. I have...
Somebody close the back doors, please.
1 minute.
I'll give you one.
Go ahead.
Okay, again, my name is Elizabeth Jimenez. I have been living here in Berwyn for 19 years. I also live here on Wesley, close to you, so My house is your house. Mi casa es su casa. I have 3 kids graduated from District 100. All of them are adults now. One of them lives in Iowa, and I am very proud of the education that they have received in District 100. I'm also an educator. I am a 3rd grade bilingual teacher in Westmont. I used to work for District 100 as a 2nd grade teacher. I also serve at District 100 as a school board member. I have been a very passionate community server. I serve the community. I don't consider myself a politician. I have worked very hard since I began my life here in Berwyn as with PTAs, PTSAs, and other events. I'm also a part of the South Berwyn Education Foundation, where we have raised over $1 million in more than 25 years. That the money goes also for school district students. We have given grants to the teachers. I'm currently working under other different organizations here in Berwyn as well. The reason I'm running is because I want to be able to have diversity in our local offices. We need more diversity. We need to represent the city of Berwyn as it is, not only a certain group of people, but we will have to represent everyone here in Berwyn.
Next on the list is Barbara Asani. 1 minute.
1 minute. I'll make it faster than that, but we're here too long. My name is Barbara Asani. I've been a resident my entire life, born in McNeil in 1963. I have 2 children raised in Berwyn. I'm running for Township trustee. I figured after 53 years it was time to do something back for my city. I'd just like to see some different things in the Township community. I work for Adolph Funeral Home in Berwyn. I've been there for 14 years, and I'm the music director at St. Leonard Church in Berwyn. I'd like to see some of the township things for domestic abuse, bringing in advocates for that, and possibly working with seniors to help out with seniors who are overburdened with maybe hoarding or having problems with their properties. I'd like to have a senior advocate for that so that we can help them out as well, because there are quite a few people in Berwyn that have that problem. So that's some things I'd like to see the township get involved in.
The next speaker is Joseph Joey Johnson.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, ABC. I'm Joey Johnson, and was born in Berwyn in the 6th Ward. Still live in the 6th Ward. Went to St. Odilo, went to St. Joe's, and very involved in Sokol and a lot of community organizations. I did a lot of work with Teddy and the beautification and the cleanup of the 6th Ward. So I'm running for Township, and I just want to get back to my city. I love the city. So I've been here most of my life, except for I went to college in North Dakota, of all places. So I know cold. It was fun. So I like to be involved. I want to see the township grow. I want to see it more accessible to the residents. I want to see it just be more transparent, and I want to see it more partnership with the township and the city and other organizations. And I appreciate your vote on the 28th. Thank you.
The next speaker is Cynthia Hayes.
Hello. My name is Cynthia Hayes, and I'm running to represent all of you as a Berwyn Township trustee. I have lived in Berwyn for all but 1 year of my entire life, so you can say I'm heavily invested in our community. I'm the mother of 2 daughters who, like me, are a product of Berwyn Public Schools. Being a leader in the PTAs of 2 schools since 2005 and in the Morton West Band Parents Association rekindled the passion I have for giving back to the community that started when I was involved in student government at Morton College. I am also a graduate of Northern Illinois and have had a successful career in retail management. I also have held clerical jobs in the healthcare field and for the church I have attended since childhood. I currently work at Hiawatha Schools Library and with their technology program, helping to assure our children are prepared for their futures. I was appointed to the Berwyn Library Board in 2012 by Mayor Lavero, and I'm proud of the improvements to our library that have occurred during my time on the board. If elected Berwyn Township trustee, one of my goals will be to aid in the transparency of the board actions, increase the resident awareness, and help the community in any way I can. Thank you.
Next candidate, James Waywood.
Good
Good evening. My name is James A. Woywood. I've been a resident of Berwyn for the past 24 years. I live here with my wife and 3 children, who are currently, 2 are at Morton and 1 is at Emerson. Both my wife and I have been very involved in Berwyn since our time here. I'm a vice president of the Morton Booster Club. My wife and I are both members of the PTA, and I believe my professional life makes me the perfect candidate to be a township trustee. For the past 31 years, I've worked for an agency in Oak Park called Hepzibah Children's Association, which serves children and families that have suffered traumatic experiences in their life. I feel, as a member of the township, we can strengthen our mental health services for children. We can work collaboratively with other providers to ensure that our families and children are getting all their needs met. Believe it or not, there's a lot of children here in Berwyn that are suffering traumatic experiences that are going unnoticed. We need to help them. Thank you.
Next speaker is Edward Espinoza.
How you doing? My name is Edward Espinoza. I am the current township trustee. I've been township trustee for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a township collector for 3 years. Prior to that, I was a volunteer at the Township Health District since 1994. I worked for AT&T for 30 years. I retired 8 years ago. I'm happily married for 34 years, so a young lady over there. We got 2 kids from Berwyn schools. As a matter of fact, for 3 of the years, while they were at Jefferson, I was the room dad because nobody else was taking the job. Currently, right now, I just want to be reelected again. There's a lot of work to do with the township. There's different things that I've done just about every job that the township has. Compliance officer, health inspector, and there's a couple other ones. But I think we're doing a good job, and I think we should continue to be able to do it. And one thing it says on your tax bill that we owe IMF money, we owe IMF nothing. We paid them off last year. So we are totally solvent with our pension plans. Thank you.
Next speaker, Tracy Bonstrom.
They sure all made this look easy, this public speaking thing. My name is Tracy Bostrom. I've lived in Berwyn since 2009, but I was born at McNeil Hospital and baptized at a church here in Berwyn and been a member since 1970. I'm keenly aware of what the township does and what my responsibilities are going to be. Some of them are fiduciary, meaning the township's going to be able to balance a budget and then buy some services, and then it's going to be our responsibility to make sure we got what we paid for. I do that for a living. I do that for a living for my small consulting firm that I run right here in Berwyn. I have clients that trust me with their checkbooks, they trust me with their bills, they trust me with their invoices, and they trust me with what they have to be responsible for their own corporations. So that's part of why I'm qualified for the position. As far as my volunteering time in Berwyn, I've spent a lot of time volunteering my time to Little League. I was the Little League VP of softball for about 6 or 7 years. I've donated my time to coaching kids in other sports. I am on church. Actually, I've just finished my term on church council at the end of December and am on some fiduciary responsibilities still there at church and with some of our programs. So again, my name is Tracy Bostrom, and I look for your vote on the 28th.
Okay, the last one is Brenda Patterson. I don't believe she's here. No, she's working. Okay, so she's not present. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Question, Myrtle.
That was a bummer you gave me, Jim.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
To the young man that worked with Teddy on beautification in the 6th Ward. I've lived there for 61 years, mister. When did that take place and where?
Last 2 summers on a few corners. There's about 4 corners that we did, mostly on Wesley.
I live on Wesley. I don't see that. I don't see that. I'm sorry I didn't get to ask my alderman candidate a question.
Next question. Anybody else? Question? Yes, back.
My name is Chris. I'm a resident of the 3rd Ward. I'm very much concerned about the budget. It's also a concern of mine. My question's for the mayoral candidates.
This is just for the trustees now.
Okay. As trustees, what would be something that you would look to help balance the budget? The service you would cut or help make it more efficient?
I can answer that. Right now, we have a $500,000 surplus in the township. We have $1 million surplus in the general assistance and $1 million surplus in the health district. So we have no problem with our budget right now.
City and the township budgets.
Yeah, there's two separate governments, so that's two different.
My question was to the mayor.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. Stand up, please.
Oh, God.
All right.
Just wondering, the governor and the state legislature has talked about ending townships in coterminous regions such as Berwyn and Oak Park and some of the other townships that exactly match the boundaries of the town that they're involved with. How do you feel about that as far as eliminating a layer of government? Illinois has 7,000 different layers of government.
Anybody in particular? Or?
Mr. Espinoza, I believe.
Right now, we are coterminous, but I don't know if anybody knows this, that we were created in 1922. We created this township in order to create a health district, in order to help our residents with medical concerns. The state, I believe, is just doing that so that they can say that they're doing something to relieve our taxes. So being coterminous, we used to be part of the Cicero Township. One of the previous options before we started all this new rule changing was if we dissolved as a township, we would revert back to Cicero Township, and then we had to pay our taxes to Cicero instead of Berwyn taking care of ourselves, helping ourselves out.
If I may also add, we're one of the few that have a health district that's also coterminous. So the other townships that the state is talking about doing away with and maybe kind of rolling those funds up all together. So then basically it'll be one fund instead of two separate. Most of those places don't have their own public health department, and we've got that benefit here in Berwyn. So that's something that kind of makes it a little different for us to just roll that in and kind of do away with the service. It wouldn't be quite the same for everyone else.
Anyone else? Again, I want to thank the candidates for coming up and taking time to present before the audience today. And before I close, I want to do one last thing. It's my wife's birthday today. She let me come to this meeting. So happy birthday.